Okay, Kate from Hawaii though. Yes, sorry. Kate from Hawaii though. Honestly, what got me during the panel was the reveal of the romantasy stuff specifically. I mean, I'm a monster lover. I think I sent pictures in my girls' chat. They don't play Magic, but they were very excited at the art on there. I wanted to talk about what was kind of the impetus to get that started and release that, because it is very, very focused on something like the fantasy part. We see it in Magic, we see all that, but it is very much from that female gaze and like what me and my friends read and everything like that. So I wanted to know how you all put that together and what was just the thought. And yeah, that was a very unwieldy question. Sorry.
And just to confirm,
big demon, very hot.
The Kieran yeah, the Dreaming Darkly and Lord of the Pit are just like so romantic. Yeah. I absolutely just he's like whispering in the ear, but they're like looking at you. It's like
demonic tutor.
Demonic tutor. Thank you. Yeah, that art that came in was absolutely stellar. The artist Kieran Yanner was basing it on sort of like an older style of art, but in the end, I think really brought together those just that really intimate cinematic feel.
Yeah, I think the truth of it is that we work with world-class art directors and world-class creative talent. I mean, you see somebody like Kieran who's been drawing cards for years and years and years and has so many different Magic illustrations to his name, and then we get to say, hey, you get to do whatever you want, and he comes and plays with us and he does that. You know, that's really telling as to where his passions are and where his passions direct to. In terms of the other part of your question, romantasy, I don't think it'll surprise you to hear that there are a lot of romantasy fans on the team, especially given some of the things that you might have seen pretty recently from Secret Lair. So really happy to hear that's resonating. I know from a product design perspective, the thing that's most important to me is that our products resonate with the people that they're designed for. So for you, for example, in your girls' chat, if we can get really world-class artists. If we can get world-class artists and world-class creative talent like Sam under the direction of somebody who has so much vision as Lindsey, our ability to come together as a team and really bring you and your friends something that is really going to resonate with you, that you're going to be able to point to and say, I see myself in this. This is how I want to play Magic. This is the type of game that I want to play. If we can do even that just a little bit, like we've done our jobs and we feel so proud that we get a chance to add to that conversation. Yeah.
Steve said a lot of what I was going to say in response, but I'll just say that I really appreciate the thoughtfulness of your question about the female gaze and that point of view. That has been something that has been historically most of our approach. And I would say there's an appetite on the team with my leadership and the people that I have on my team to be thinking about different points of view. So more to come on that front.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jason?
Jason Finelli from GameSpot. We'll talk about the PlayStation Secret Lair, Wild Seeds. I'm curious if that started as a single drop and snowballed into a super drop. It seems like the kind of thing when you go in with one game pitch, or they pitch you with one game, and all of a sudden you're like, well, we could do this one. Oh, we could do this one. Or was it always a super drop, or was there like a small that kind of snowballed into this big thing?
Yeah, do you want me to start?
Yeah.
It was always a super drop.
Okay.
Our partners at Sony have been fantastic to work with, and we had this vision of really hitting all of these properties that would resonate so well with our fans. So clearly, like, there are some that we wanted to show sooner than others, but all of them are super important, and so negotiating this kind of like holistic, I just wish I could like say more at this moment. I know. PlayStation blog. Okay, good, yeah.
Some stuff, we can say the games. Some stuff, not everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, they know what a liability I am, don't worry. So yeah, you'll see the whole lineup. It's very impressive. We have 7 drops, all of which include at least one mechanically unique card. We went hard with Sony PlayStation, and I cannot wait for y'all to see it. Jake?
Hey, I'm Jake from Polygon. I want to split the Dan deck, which is awesome to see. I think it's really cool to see Magic and Secret Lair sort of like put their force behind this very like homegrown fan-made thing. What does it mean for you guys, for the company, to say like we're actually going to make this a deck and sell it, as opposed to making people kind of like, if they want to get into it, find it themselves?
For sure. I think one of the things that we do with Secret Lair is we want to make sure that we're serving as many weird things as possible. And when I discovered the Dan format, it was my favorite thing for probably about a year, and still one of my favorite things. It's just harder to find people to play. So when this particular design opportunity came across the Secret Lair team's desk and our ability to figure out what's our spin on it, how can we do something that's adding to the conversation, but also pretty introductory to people that might not be as familiar with the format. This is what the game designers came up with, and the deck is awesome. It's so much fun to play. Huge credit to Carmen Klomparens and Abe Corrigan from the game design team that really, really put their stamp on that. And frankly, major props to Jacob Covey, who is the Secret Lair art director, and he's the one that's directly responsible for a lot of the incredible images that you saw from Kellogg's Loops, and there's that incredible magical hack where the more you look at it, the cooler it looks. There's a little deer that's underwater. It's
looks
crazy.
like a mountain, and then it goes up.
It's
I want to
so
talk
good.
about that on the panel.
You know,
Also belongs in the panel.
I answered your question from a philosophical perspective, but from a business perspective, I can only speak from my part. You'll probably be able to say more about this, but from my part on product design, I'm most interested in exploring areas that are going to get people really excited about something. So it doesn't matter if it's the same passion that I felt when I first picked up a Dan deck and I dealt that first out. I played with Blake. Blake was like one of the first people that I played with. We spent an hour over lunch going, like casting diminishing returns like 5 times. It was crazy. But I want people to feel the same level of passion and respect and excitement that I felt when I picked up that deck with all of the products that we do. It's a goal. We work towards that goal all the time, and we want to have more hits than misses. So that's my guiding star, and I hope that we did that with the stand-in deck.
Yeah. From a business standpoint, we want to be more than just drops for people. We don't want to just be the drop place. So it's important for us to try new things and to find new places that we can delight our fans, whether that's a fan favorite format or something completely different. Don't sleep on Chaos Vault because we're going to put some unusual stuff in there.
You can't say what it is.
I know, Steve. Such a party. Let's not invite him next time, and then we can just. But yeah, so you know, the business is never going to grow if we don't start innovating and trying new things. So it's important for us to do that, and I would say be expecting even more different and new things over the coming months.
Yeah, and it comes down to like what we were talking about earlier and some things that we said on the panel. This is really about, you know, maybe not everyone's aware of everything we put out, but there are going to be a few people who flip out when we do,
Yes.
and making sure, like, Magic has this huge and storied history. We want to make sure people are stoked.
Barry.
Barry White, Magic Untapped. Following up on Polygon's question, with Dan, you know, I guess supporting a niche format like that, in the future, are there thoughts or discussions about maybe doing a similar treatment for something like Oathbreaker or pre-modern players?
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's a great question. I don't mean to be flippant about it. I think one of the things that we do on the creative team that Sam and I serve on under Lindsey is we like to explore directions. And sometimes that direction could be, what's a play experience that we want to bring to our players? Sometimes that direction could be, what's an artistic style that we want to explore? Are there partners that we would love to work with that we can bring to the surface? It's a lot of really blue sky discussions, and it's really, really exciting, not just to brainstorm them, but to see them come to fruition. So when it comes to fan-driven formats like that, we look at a lot of different things in terms of play options. Certainly, a lot of really beloved fan formats would be on that list. Whether or not we do something with it, it's just a matter of finding what the right shape is, what the right time is, and whether or not we think we have something to add to the conversation, right? Like we felt like we had something to add to the conversation with Dan.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can find some other things to say about some of the other things that fans love and the way that fans want to experience Magic.
Yeah, it's a holistic product that we have to consider. So the format, and then do we have kind of a great dagger, a great hook to go along with it, the right artist, like it's got to really come together and be meaningful, and it's got to be correct for the Secret Lair brand and the Secret Lair customers. So there's layers and layers of decision making that go into that. But yeah, we consider, you know, multitudes of things when deciding to do something like a Dan deck.
And I'll just say the fact that we got to announce it at MagicCon, this is a place where people get to find new corners of Magic that they didn't know existed before. The fact that a bunch of people are going to walk away with it is just like absolutely awesome. So for me, this was like that perfect confluence, that moment where the product, the experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kelly's looks amazing.
Adam Marino, GamingTrain.com. You guys have a vast catalog at this point of everything from well-known IPs to things that people kind of have to look up and explore for themselves for the first time. Have you guys started to get products that are, and brands that are approaching you for the first time instead of you having to reach out to them? And on top of that, is there like a limit to how many of those collaborations you would want to do within like a year's scope?
Yes. Super interesting question. You know, it's two-way street in terms of, you know, people reaching out. We have an amazing emerging business team that handles a lot of that outreach for us, and helps us kind of like figure out the right things for Magic and for Secret Lair. Yeah, it's, you know, Secret Lair has tried a number of different things over the years. We're continuing to explore the space and partnerships and what's correct and how much is correct. I wouldn't say that we entirely know what that mix is at this moment, so you'll see us continue to iterate and explore new corners of that and learn, probably make some mistakes and then correct. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at in the journey there.
Given your shirt, you missed the opportunity to say the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist! Can't wait till October 3rd.
Hi, Philip, CG Mag, CG Magazine. I was wondering where you guys come up with the idea of which band and which film to put in Secret Lair. Do you have like a dartboard in the office and you just throw it and it hit Jaws and Iron Maiden? Or, but more seriously, where,
It's not, is he seeing the dartboard? That's a no.
where do you guys come up with the idea? Oh, did you initially just think, yes, Iron Maiden, yes, Jaws, and then you just made the cards there? Or did you guys have a list of bands, have a list of movies, and then just be like, well, not this one, well, not that one?
Yeah, it's such a great question, and it's related to the question that I think we just had. There's so many factors that go into deciding what partnership is correct for our brand and customers, what's the right timing in which to do it, is this something that's relevant, is this something that's going to hit nostalgia, is this something that's going to cut across in the correct way for the brand. So we're constantly looking at it from all different angles. Jaws was an interesting one because we thought it would be great for our spooky drop. It also happens to be the 50-year anniversary of the film. I can't believe, like, overshare by me. This morning I was thinking about putting that in my speaking notes about it being the 50th anniversary, but I was like, no way it's 50, right? Like no way. Like I remember seeing it as a kid and being like, no, this, you know, it wasn't that old. Imagine my disappointment when I Googled it and realized, oh, it's because I'm almost 50. That's why. Anyway, so yeah, that's all to say there's just a multitude of angles that go into choosing those things, and there's not like kind of like a set criteria, and dartboard's a great idea though. Somebody write that down. Stacey.
I mean, really quick, at the end of the day, it's about authenticity,
Yes.
right? Like we take great pride in the fact that when we choose a partner, no matter what it is, our main mission is to make sure that it comes across authentically, and that passion for that project or band or movie or TV show comes across authentically. So we've explored a lot of different properties where sometimes we can't find a good way to present it authentically through Magic, in which case we don't do it.
Right.
So we need to be we're very careful and protective of what it is that we take on, not just because there are only so many hours in the day, but because we also really want to make sure that we're serving not just Magic fans, but the fans of those individual communities as well.
And then just a little bit from the creative perspective, within the building, it's a large building, there are fans of just about everything, and we listen to everyone within the building. So whether or not it's a SME or subject matter expert for romantasy or that IP that maybe no one knows about that everyone has to Google, it could be someone's favorite thing. It might not be everyone's favorite thing, or they might not know about it. And the team kicks around a lot of ideas that way. So sometimes it's like from the outside in, sometimes it's from the inside out.
Yeah, but there's always intention behind it, I think is the key thing to cash. Like, recently when we announced the Play-Doh drop, the internet was like, what? This is just like a weird cash grab with Hasbro? Like, you know, people didn't like see that. And I think what I was trying to explain today is like, actually, this is a really beautiful, organic, authentic partnership with something that is the most requested toy item by children's hospitals. Like it's such an intuitive link, and so there always is intention behind it, even if it may not always come across as obvious because there is such a wide variety.
Stacy from Page Turner's blog. So I kind of come from this I do bookish things. So the romantasy and and all of that is super awesome. And I know you guys have been focusing a lot on big anniversaries, like with Jaws and then the Star Trek and stuff. And there's a lot of kind of like the new wave of books, like with Twilight just hit 20 years and all of those type things.
Also wild.
I know, right? Like how is this possible?
Sorry, what's Twilight?
It's getting so
Very, very, very,
It's taking a dark turn.
And I know we've kind of been going off on this, but I just want to, I guess, ask the question, like, are more books on your radar? I mean, we have The Hobbit and those type of things, but like, it seems like a lot of the IPs that you've really been focusing on have been more the games and
really,
movies.
Yeah.
Even though they've been kind of tangential, because like Jaws is a book, Princess Bride is a book, but you've really focused on the movie side of stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Books is something that we need to explore in a bigger way. This year, we went really hard on video games. You know, with how long we need to make these decisions in advance, it's hard to kind of know what people are going to respond to. So we're making decisions now for 1 to 2 years from now. So once we see something that fans are resonating with, it's like, okay, great, like let's go explore that in a bigger way. And like I said earlier to my friend, I keep referencing your question. We don't know that we have particularly nailed our mix of genres at this very moment. Also, pop culture is going to pop culture, right? Like that's going to evolve, and what's cool and what is relevant is going to evolve, and we're going to evolve along with it. So you will continue to see a different kind of mix of what those genres look like. But books are something that's very much on my radar. I love MagicCon, but I cannot wait to get back to a certain book that I'm reading.
What are you reading?
I'm reading A Court of Lords around.
Yes.
I know, I'm late to the party on that one, but yeah, so I cannot wait.
I have like a first edition signed to me,
Very
like
nice.
from original cover
Very nice.
of like the first book in the
You're
series.
enjoying her girls, Jen.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to, let's talk afterwards, please. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna look.
Not
Which
gonna
is
be at all.
completely fine. That's a whole genre of.
It's the
So yeah, Kate from Ohio again. Listen to you all talk, it seems like Secret Lair is this ability to really navigate and find those niche things that people do have interest in. I also think from the other perspective of showing how big a tent Magic is as a play style for different audiences that are usually typically underserved. I think of the Nuesta philanthropic drop that did it really well, the romantasy that we just saw. How do you all manage making sure that you're showcasing things that cater to specific audiences that maybe haven't always been pulled into the broader concepts in Magic, but also understanding that like you have to like, do you all make like the use case to be like, oh, this isn't actually small, like a small portion of the pie to go, because to approach, because I think that that's the one thing hearing you all talk about, but then at the end of the day, like you do have to make things that sell. So how do you balance those two kind of opposing forces?
Yeah.
I can talk about this from a product design perspective. I don't think they are opposing. I don't think they have to be. You know, it's really fun to look into what people love about something and try to figure out what people love about Magic that relates to that thing.
It could be an art style.
It could be an art style. Art styles are people really connect with art. To your point, Tragic Romance, a drop that we did earlier this year, was one of our most popular drops. Abigail Larson absolutely crushed it.
Nailed it.
And the cards that you got in that are amazing as a basis for a Kali of the Vast deck. So it's about looking at not just drop framework, but thinking, is there a different product that we could think about for this that would better serve that portion of the community? We don't look at it as either or. We look at it as, how do we make sure that we're doing both? And if we can't do both, why not?
Yeah, I would just build on that and say, let's see, we've already messed with finance a lot this week, but I wouldn't say that sales is not important, but it's not one of the first things that we think of when concepting a product. Having it be true to the brand, be authentic, be something that somebody's going to love, somebody out there is going to love, are ranked way above the sales standpoint and mass appeal, because that's just not who Secret Lair is. Otherwise, we'd be churning out things that look a lot different than what we are, right? So yeah, it's, again, not just, we are a business, like I recognize that, but it's just, in terms of designing products, that's just not how we think about it.
I'd also love to throw out there, I see us a little bit as a curator. We're not trying to make one of everything, but we're choosing things that we want people to see out there. So as a curator, sometimes you're showing someone something that they already like, and sometimes you're showing them something unique that they'll like. So when it comes to those drops or products that maybe, well, even the Tragic Romance wasn't from a specific IP, but we thought that this story with these cards and that art would be a lovely product. And again, that's like an act of curation. We're editing and showing.
Thank you. Anybody who hasn't asked a question yet? In the back, here you guys.
He literally just answered the one I was going to ask.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Tom, also from GameSpot. Just curious, obviously, Secret Lair is a very varied, clearly, as someone who's very new to all this, I didn't expect kind of the breadth of what Secret Lair kind of is, and I'm sure that's kind of constantly changing. But at the same time, there has to be an element of an assembly line in a way of how this stuff gets made from concept to, you know, the final product. And I'm curious as to if each time you approach a different release or drop, is that a path that looks the same internally from the beginning to the end, or is kind of every, like from the Secret Scares to the Dan, like, is it radically different? Like, how difficult is it to plan and manage all of these different things, or do they follow a kind of same trajectory from concept to final product?
Thank you for listening during the panel. It's a great question. So first of all, we are representatives of a much bigger organization. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking Wizards, which is very, very large, but just generally the Secret Lair team is very large. The people that touch Secret Lair within Wizards is very, very large. So a lot of the stuff that you're talking about has to do with a lot of those different teams. So like the pure logistics of printing a card is going to be very complicated no matter what portion of the business that you're talking about, whether it's Secret Lair, whether it's main set Magic, whether it's a commander deck, it's just complicated. In terms of process internally, it's gonna sound like a cop-out answer, but it just depends, right? Mm-hmm. Like in order for us to be able to take that time and intentionality to be able to design something that we're proud of, that we know is gonna serve the audience, that we know is going to resonate with fans, yeah, we gotta work to deadlines, but like, we wanna make sure that we take the time and effort to be able to get that right. And sometimes it takes no time at all. Sometimes it takes a lot more time, and we got to figure out a different path through. So it sounds like a cop-out answer. I swear it's true. It just does sometimes. These things vary in time depending on how quickly we can figure something out.
Yeah. The spirit of my Secret Lair team that I love so much is they are so scrappy. They all help each other. They all are just customer obsessed and trying to get the thing to customers as soon as possible. So I would say that, you know, to that end, we work in very different ways than the rest of the building. We're a little bit smaller, more nimble, a little bit more kind of like on our own little island. Then there are bigger projects where we do really rely on the rest of the building to kind of like help us get those across the line, and those are a little bit more buttressed with process and infrastructure. But the Secret Lair team, very much the spirit is we just want to get people the things that they love and as quickly as we can get them and in the most relevant way possible and in the most authentic way possible. So in terms of the nuts and bolts of like how we actually make it, it can vary quite a bit. We try and respond to trends as quickly as we can. Some things take longer because if you're working with a particular artist that has a lot on their schedule or a particular partner that has a lot of approvals, that can dictate that. And then in terms of, you know, how we choose the thing and how we actually approach the creative process, that's very much the same. It's that kind of like ranking I gave earlier where like, is this right for the brand? Is this right for our customers? Is it authentic to our voice? Is this gonna delight somebody out there? Like those are the questions that we're asking, agnostic of what the partner or the product actually is.
When you said assembly line at the start, I imagine like a tree where there's a ton of different ones at the start, because to Lindsey's point earlier, sometimes folks approach us, sometimes we approach folks, that's already different. And in the end, someone's going to get a product, and that's kind of the one outcome that we want from all of these. So it's just, it is fun seeing where all the ideas come from.
Yeah.
It is fun seeing, like, I got to watch Steve from afar as a product designer, like, build them and there's people who are involved, and then it sort of coalesces into that.
Yeah.
We're at time, but I will allow one more short question from someone if you have not, fight over it. I don't know how to choose.
Oh, man.
Who on the team had a traumatic experience with Furby? Are they getting Furby?
So I heard the question is, who on the team had an awesome, fantastic, incredible experience with Kirby?
but in all
And the answer is everybody.
I need to know how that creative process went down.
I
You
just
got
want
the
to throw out there.
Perfect guy here.
So I didn't get to make the drop because I'm a little too new for that, but I did make the video. That was my son's baby hand touching the throttle. And that was my wife doing the VO, filmed it over the weekend. Mark Hagan, who some of you might know, is pictured eating a bowl of walnuts. He
It
had
wasn't
some-
cereal, those were walnuts.
Those were walnuts.
So unhinged.
He had like a mild reaction on the other end. That shot was his idea too. He came in with a suit and a bag of walnuts, and I got an idea for a shot, Sam. So
Very visionary.
that was a really fun video to make. I got to make and mix the song as well. So that was a riot. And I just did not believe that we were making that.
Well, I mean, the truth of it is that when you have a partner that's as incredible as our friends over at Furby, I mean, like, it's so much happens quicker, and with this drop, it really, really did happen pretty seamlessly because of how willing they were to say yes to some. Again, I said it on the panel, I can't believe we got to make the odd bodies.
Same.
That drop is crazy. I love it.
And they were into it.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, let's explore the space. Like, fans are gonna love this. And we're like, really?
What?
Yeah, just wait till you see one of them like in real life.
Oh my gosh,
I mean, the crowd was like that whole
disturbing.
thing. I
Yeah,
needed it.
yeah. Maybe on the lobster roll.
But we love our fans, we love what we do, and just the fact that we get to interact with fans across the spectrum, whether it's people in the building, people outside the building, partners, like Magic is such a universal game and universal experience, and nowhere is that more apparent than here at MagicCon. So just to be here and a part of it and be able to share it with you all and people on the floor, it's a wonderful experience, and we so appreciate it.
Thanks
If
for
you have,
having me.
yeah, if you have any other questions, hit up Riley and Jeff. Get them answered. Thanks for your questions.
Thank you all.
We're gonna switch.